There it goes.
Live.
We're back.
Live. Yeah, finally. Oh my goodness.
This is the best. This is the best radio interview we've ever done.
The shortest and the quiet.
You guys really have it together in Switzerland. Wow.
It's easier. You come over here and we do an interview.
Live on Swiss radio.
Yeah.
You guys know how to make watches, but you're not very good at the internet.
Yeah, I know. We have to learn. So
yeah, next time I think we should have done some tests beforehand because we'd never done this. I thought maybe you knew how to do it, but if it's your first time too, we're all virgins.
So
let's get into some of the questions since people have been waiting.
So Chris Long said, just want to say I think you guys I think you guys are some cool mofos with serious musicianship and style.
Wow. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. We love you, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris is our friend.
Yeah, he's a friend.
Okay.
Good friend.
And Veronica, what advice can you give to a person who is studying music management and her life goal is to be part of a touring crew?
Change your job.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
That's a really easy one. You've just got to go either a live touring crew and music management are two different things. Number one, managing bands doesn't necessarily mean that you're out on the road, working on a tour. So it's a completely different world. But if you want to get into like touring and that kind of stuff, you need to either get a job at a venue or start offering your services to bands for free. Even honestly, there's a lot of bands that just need help, when they're touring. So it's really, really easy to really just get out there when bands come through town, start getting to know everyone, go to all the shows, offer to help, get a job at a venue, and just put yourself in there because musicians always need help. We always need free help. It always helps unless you're a really, really big band, and then start building your skill set and meeting people. And then
you'll have value and people will pay you to do that.
Yep.
Great. So Anonymous International ask, do you guys all have a date when chapter 2 will be released?
No specific date yet, but probably, what did we say? What months? Most likely?
Probably April, May.
Yeah. Yep.
It's really close to being done. I mean, it is written and recorded. It still needs to be mixed. It still needs some vocal stuff from me. Just like some changes and tweaks and just kind of maybe finishing up the story on a few songs. But it's really ready to go. It's more of us having to mix it and then plan a proper campaign and something that's going to get people really, really excited and also allow us to make enough money to actually finish it and then go play some shows and stuff. That stuff takes planning.
Honestly, a couple of months. It's not going to be long before we launch the campaign.
Okay. Kate Roof is asking, do you plan any new works with video maker Katya Tsyganova in chapter 2?
Tsyganova? Katya Tsyganova?
Katya Tsyganova?
Yeah.
Tsyganova?
Yeah.
Katya is amazing. We don't have a video plan. And by the way, hi, Kate. How are you? Kate's another friend. We don't have any plans right now to do a video with her. It doesn't mean that we wouldn't or couldn't. I think
she's switched more into doing photographs now.
Yeah.
She's more of a photographer. So who knows? I mean, if she's around, I haven't actually talked to her in a while, but we did some cool stuff together. It was fun.
Great. And then a name I cannot speak. It's Russian, I think.
That's okay.
What relations Julien-K have with the new division?
Mostly sexual. We love the band. We're fans of the band. We're friends with everyone in the band. I mean, literally, they live in the area. We just went to dinner a couple nights ago with John. Biddy is actually a really good friend of Amir and I's. Amir is producing some of Biddy's music. I have a feeling at some point we will probably work together in some way, whether it's touring together or even making some music together. But they're just one of those bands that we kind of feel are...
They're kind of a kindred band.
Yeah, kind of a kindred spirit. They're kind of where we're at. They've got some popularity. They've got something going for them. And people are discovering them, and they're literally our local friends. So we've really been kind of tossing around doing some serious collaboration together, whether that's a New Division Julien-K tour, or if it's music together, or, you know, shows. But we're certainly talking a lot.
There are some rumors from, I guess, orgy fans who ask underneath the interviews, when I see interviews on YouTube, by the way, everyone said, do you come back with orgy? Is there any plan? There are some rumors.
No, we don't have any plan to come back to do orgy. No. It's not really our choice. The choice was Jay's. We always wanted to do orgy. We never wanted to be in another band. But we always thought that if you're going to do orgy, you know, we do it all together. You do it as the real band. You know, it wouldn't be me and Amir trying to go off and do orgy, or the whole band orgy and me singing, which could be done, obviously. But we always turn that stuff down because we thought that it should be Jay, Ryan, Amir, Bobby, and Paige. Yeah. But Jay doesn't feel the same way, obviously.
Yeah, we fought for that when there were actual talks going on to tour as orgy. We were only interested in doing it with as many of the members, the original members, who wanted to do it. If someone didn't want to do it,
then that's fine.
Then we were like, okay, well then, you know, hey, if Bobby doesn't want to do it anymore, Paige doesn't want to do it anymore, then the three of us will do it. The original founding guys will do it, and, you know, we'll get some other people. But if we wanted to give them the first right of refusal of not doing it if they didn't want to. But if they did, then we wanted the whole band to do it. But, you know, as Ryan said, Jay didn't want to do that. Jay thinks he can do it on his own, and you have what you have.
And can you tell us what Bobby and Paige are doing right now?
Well, Bobby just filmed our Mannequinized video with us. So Bobby is doing a really, really great job in cinematography and creating movies and videos and all sorts of video work. He's doing really, really well. Paige, we don't hang out with a whole lot. We don't see him around as much. We talked a little bit recently, but I don't really know what he's up to. He's always been like that, though. He's always been elusive. He's never been someone that just, you know, hangs out all the time. It's not that he's not doing anything or that he's doing something. We just don't know. It's just the way Paige is. Bobby, I mean, we just went up to his house and
we stayed
We stayed the night at his house and hung with his family, and it was just like orgy had never ended. It was amazing. It was so cool. It was a little sad in that one regard, though, because I was like, wow, these are such cool guys, such talented guys. I'm like, fuck, it's so weird that we're just not leaving on tour together. It's so weird to me, but that's cool.
Great. So another Russian fan asked, what about European tour? Maybe this or next year?
I would say that we would try to do that as soon as we can, but we need to find somebody to work with in Europe. We don't have anyone right now in Europe. So it really just depends on that. If we get someone that can work with us and help us get back over there, then we can do it. But if we don't have that, then we obviously can't do it. We do have friends in Russia, though. Moomy Troll, who have been very, very cool to us. They've helped us get over there, and we have recently been talking to them again, and they've always expressed interest in trying to get us over there. So
yeah, we want to get back to Moscow at some point.
Yeah,
or you have a lot of fans over there.
I'm sorry?
You have a lot of fans over there in Russia and Germany and Asia, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of fans.
If we go to Moscow, I can't picture us not stopping in the EU somewhere and at least playing a show. I can't imagine that we wouldn't do that. So we're really we're looking for any opportunity. A lot of these opportunities come out of nowhere, like Colombia, for instance, was the connection was a band, Estados Alterados, that's almost like a really kind of like a Depeche Mode of Latin America. They're really, really good and they're really cool. They happen to live, one of their founding members lives right across the street in our neighborhood, and I live right down the street. So we just magically just kind of met one another, and he really liked our music and we loved his. And then a year and a half, 2 years later, he invites us down to Colombia to play this big festival and connects us with the right people. And that's just kind of how it works. You know, we really just need someone in the countries. We need someone to be our champion and help us get over there, you know, that's in the company, that's in the country, because we are an independent band. You're literally looking at the management, the booking, everything right here. You know, we do everything.
Yep.
So
if you know someone, please contact Julien-K.
Yes, yes. Or if you're someone that, if you know booking agents and managers and stuff like that, that would want to work with us, then please tell them to give us a ring. I think a lot of times people are surprised that we don't have a manager or a booking agent, and we still do all the things that we do. But it's not that we don't want it. It's just we just haven't really, you know, it just hasn't really been right yet.
Yeah, it's just a different world now. I mean, a lot of the middlemen are just cut out. That's all there is to it. You know, it's in every aspects of the music business, the middlemen have been removed, and there's more direct interaction with the people who actually buy our music and listen to our music versus having all these people in the middle of all of that. We make all the decisions. Everything that gets done is the three of us, basically. So, you know, just like Ryan's saying, when it comes to these things, they come about in a very organic way usually, which is cool. It's more direct.
Yeah, that's true. Aye. But how you can manage that all? I think, Ryan, you have, how many restaurants do you have?
Well, Amir and I are partners in 2 of them, but I'm involved, either I'm the 100% owner or I'm a partner in 5.
Wow.
So it's hard. It's very hard. I would just say that we couldn't do it without each other. I couldn't do none of this stuff would happen if we were so interdependent. And we do kind of have defined roles. I mean, even though we act like we don't, we kind of do have roles. I kind of know the things that I'm good at and what I'm supposed to be doing. And Amir certainly has, and Fu certainly has pretty defined things that they're really, really good at doing. And we just try to cooperate like that. And
it's a lot of juggling.
Yeah. But the thing that makes it work for us, I think, is that we now know each other so well that we know how to get stuff done. When you interface with us, I think people sometimes are surprised because it gets done really quickly. We're like a business. But it's because we know each other really, really well. These guys know what I'm putting up with on the other side of the restaurant stuff. I know what they're putting up with, doing the really heavy lifting that they have to do to make this band move forward, that I can't do sometimes because I'm, you know, discombobulated in the restaurant world. But I mean, that's the way it works for us. You know, we would love to have help, but it would have to be someone that adds, you know, value to the situation and doesn't get in the way. You know, because we know each other so well. We know how to get things done. We're so tightly knit that it's just, it's weird. It's efficient for how small we are. It's very efficient. And for how much is going on. I mean, it's just nuts.
That's, wow. That's great. There's another question. Let's jump right into it. Mary Laurie asked, how came the idea for the name of the song Photovoltaire?
Amir and I were doing a lot of talking about what it's going to take to get that song to become good, because we both really liked the verse and we really liked kind of where it was going, but it was very different. And California Noir, the concept, was something that we were discussing regularly. Every day we were coming in with new pictures and new ideas and fleshing out the concept of what we're going to be doing for the next 2 years. And I went surfing really, really early in the morning, and the sun was coming up over the water, and that's when that song kind of hit me. And it just totally hit me. And I had eyeliner on from the night before, and I was just laughing at what a weird sight it was that getting in the water after I think we went out the night before, and there's still eyeliner on my face, but I'm surfing. So it's like this goth California fashion, this weird combination of things that we are. And when the sun came up, the name just photovoltaic just popped into my head. And then a lot of the chorus started making sense and everything. And I came back after that, I came to Amir and I go, hey, I got the name. And we immediately went in, I think that night, and kind of nailed the song down. And the whole thing just made sense.
One of the things that I really push for is when possible is having unique song titles. I talk about this a lot. I know a lot of people don't care. Some people don't care. I think it's, especially in this age of the internet, when you have things that are unique, it can make for an easier search of something. If you heard of a song or something, you know, if a song's just called Photo, you're going to get a million, you know, you're not going to find anything. And even if the word Voltaire is not exactly the most common word, you're probably going to find Cabaret Voltaire as your first search. But I guarantee if you put those two words together, you're going to find Julien-K, because it's unique. And it also paints a much better picture in your mind. It gives you something to, you know, sort of contemplate on. What is this song about? What does it mean? And I think it's more artistic that way, you know, that it's something, it's more unique, you know. It makes people think about the songs more versus just having a, you know, a single word title, which sometimes we do. Sometimes a song title just falls into place and it may not be completely unique or anything like that. But I definitely push Ryan. I push myself. I'm constantly trying to come up with unique song titles as well that I keep track of. And sometimes we get a song and I'll just throw things at Ryan, you know, just keep throwing these titles at him. And sometimes it sticks and all of a sudden it's like there's a song, and obviously it works the other way around where he comes in with something and I'm like, that's a great title. Like I see it. It makes me see the song better too, you know, like overall the whole picture. And so I think it's something we definitely strive for when we can. And I think we got lucky on that song. It was definitely a very perfect storm of styles and ideas.
Definitely.
Great. And the next question is, what is your favorite song from the chapter 1 and why?
For me, I think Photovoltaire is, I mean, there's definitely some, I like a lot of songs on that album. Photovoltaire is probably my favorite because I think the verse vocal is probably one of the best vocals I've ever done. I just think that I wish sometimes that we did have a record label behind us and that we could do these big things that these other bands do, because I think that it's a really, really compelling. I mean, I think it's a great chorus, but I think the verse is just really interesting. You know, it's melodically interesting. I think the words mean something. And it's just one of those times where we got good work out of the band. Like, we worked really hard on that song. And when the chorus came together to go with that verse, actually it was the other way around. We had the rough idea of this chorus and we couldn't get, yeah, that's the way that happened. But yeah, so when that happened though, it was such a payoff from the writing side. It was, I think we all felt like we got paid, you know, emotionally. You know, we got paid, and we, after working our asses off on this song, trying to figure out how to make it happen and have such a good chorus and not really know what the chorus meant. And that's where the name came in and everything. And that's how that verse just flowed. Once I got it, it just happened and the whole song changed. So
I think for me, it's probably the same song, somewhat for some of the same reasons, some for other reasons. One, you know, I'm a producer, so I think a lot of times in mechanics and less about emotion almost sometimes. I'm less emotional. That's where he comes in. And I think the fact that I had a very methodical plan about how to try to write a song, and this was one of those, maybe the first song that we had literally gone in. I literally walked in with a drum machine and had this beat going. And I said, we need to write a song around this beat, like right now. Let's just write a song. And we started jamming, the three of us in the studio. And like you said, it didn't completely materialize on the first try, but the idea was so good that we didn't let go of it. And I think that, you know, we don't normally write that way. And so in that sense, I'm really proud of the fact that we actually did something different. But at the end of the day, what I'm really proud of in that song is I feel like I was able to capture something from our past and then also something of the future and something that sounds very modern all in one song. And I think that his vocal performance is really, really amazing. So I'm probably the most proud of that song, I guess you could say, because I feel like we really accomplished something. And it seems like our fans really, really like that song, which also helps me and us guide things when, you know, the idea of what that was. There really was a very distinct idea of what that song was, and I'm glad that it really connected because I feel like we did the right thing. And I know we want to do a video to that at some point, but we just haven't thought of a video for it yet.
It's been really hard.
I don't know what to do because we've done, Mannequinize kind of came about and that's a whole crazy story in itself.
Mannequinize concept almost drove the song.
Yeah.
In some ways, it was a weird relationship between his visual idea concept and my audio and emotional and message, you know, that I wanted to get across, and they just crashed into one another, and we couldn't get away from it.
So that's why it came about so quickly, because I had actually had the idea for the video, and also I've been kind of pushing for some songs that have a very minimalistic approach, very 80s minimalistic style. And when I heard his idea, this thing that he and Eric had started, it was like right then I knew this was it. The video, like everything just came together, and it was just the timing for it was perfect.
We haven't got that for Photovoltaire video yet.
Yeah, I don't know what to do for that one yet. It's like the song, I love the song, I think it's so cool, but I have to have an idea of something visually that will make the song better. Because I always like to, whenever we do a video, and this has always been kind of a rule in my head, is that whatever the video is has to make you like the song more. If it doesn't, then you've failed.
You fucked up.
You didn't make a cool video. It's got to make you like the song more. And I just haven't heard anything or thought of anything yet that has pushed that button yet. I hope it does, because I do want to make a video for that song.
Maybe your fans have ideas, and maybe there will be fan videos as well.
Yeah, that's actually been a really cool thing that people have done. Even with Katya, she made almost like a fan video for Nights of Future Past, and that was so cool. I mean, you get a director that we've actually worked with already, and then she goes, "Guys, I'm in Russia. You can't connect. I'm gonna make a video for this song," and we're like, "Okay, that's cool."
Yeah,
and then she sends us
we had nothing to do with that.
A finished video that's really high quality, and it's her take on the song. So that was really that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're definitely open to that.
That is really cool. Yeah, that's right. So another question to chapter 1 and chapter 2. Elizabeth asked, what is the correlation between chapter 1 and chapter 2? It seems like a darker vibe. What made you go in this direction?
We knew ahead of time that there was going to be a lighter side and a darker side to the album. That's one of the reasons nightlife and Leben is sort of the theme. We want to make sure that we touch on the dark side that we've always had, because we think that connects with our fans. It definitely is us. So we want to make sure to give a heavy dose of that kind of feeling in any of our work moving forward. And then the chapter 1, I mean, our work's always dark, but there's a little bit of, like Photovoltaire in my translation. My name is the sun exploding. So there is a little bit of that, like breaking through the darkness kind of, that feeling is still in there a little bit. But I think with Nightlife and Leben, we want to go to the dark side. There's a little bit of a light and dark side to the whole body of work.
And she asked further on, I know all of the concentration is on chapter 2 as well, it should be, but are there any plans to do a demo outtakes album in the future?
Yes. There's a very big plan to do a very, very big project. It's actually going to be probably bigger than one of our albums in some ways. We're going to release virtually everything that we've ever done that people haven't heard.
So cool.
And it's going to be, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
We're working on it constantly.
Yeah, Fu and I have been working on this for, I don't know, I thought of the idea, like a couple of years ago?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been compiling all the tracks that we could find, basically. Anything that was, unreleased songs, demos. There are some things that have been released that will now be compiled on this compilation. There will be unreleased live versions of songs, obviously unreleased songs, whatever, there's definitely a few songs that were like either never finished or close to being finished for each of the albums that has come out so far. So there'll definitely be some songs that no one's ever heard before. Demos, live, I think some remixes. What else do we talk about?
You make a lot of fans happy, I guess, right now.
Yeah, so it's going to be a pretty big compilation of stuff. We already have a title for it. We already have the entire concept for it. And while I'm mixing Chapter 2, Fu has already started mixing some of the unreleased stuff for this compilation.
The cool thing I think about this is I saw on the message feed that we have multiple questions about this. Mm-hmm. A lot of people who followed us for however long we've been around, 8 years or something like that, or I don't know, maybe longer. And through all the signing to a label or doing something for the company, these kind of misfires that the band has had commercially in terms of like really being on the radio and doing all this big stuff. These people have heard pieces of music that we never really got to put out and we never really finished, and they ask about it by name. And they ask specific lyrics, and they really know. There are people that know a piece to Cruel Days of Summer that we never released. It was just in the background of a YouTube video. So they know, they really know all of this stuff. And that's why I think that this will be a super exciting product. It'll be a cool release. I think that our job is going to be figuring out a way to package it in a really compelling and cool, unique, and limited way, because we want this to be very special. But I think it's going to be a big deal, especially seeing what our albums have been doing with our campaigns and everything. I think an album like this will be a very, very sought after thing for our fans.
Yeah, we're doing every time we release something, doing these crowdfunding campaigns, and even if we just put stuff online, all of this is an experiment to see like what our fans are liking, what they're gravitating to help us, put this stuff out in the future. We're always kind of trying new things. Like the Mannequinized release was definitely a big experiment, and it was very successful. So
it was a gamble too, because we could have failed miserably on that, and then it really would have made us have to go back to the drawing board. Coming out with an EP and video, and coming up with a way to get our fans involved in promoting the video, which is kind of what we need. We need everyone to get super active, and we also need money to pay for the video, of course, and have it actually work. That was really, really incredible.
I think the main thing is that everybody has to understand that they're partnering with us now in this business of us doing what we're doing, and that includes videos as well as music and everything else. So, we really can't just do this on our own and not make money at it. That's the thing. And we're trying to change the way people look at how this all works. Like crowdfunding has been around for a while, and obviously everyone's music is online, but people have to understand that we can't do this for free, nor can any other band really. You know what I mean? It's just like, this is the new model for us. And basically them partnering with us, we're creating our own label together that is now doing all the stuff that needs to be done for everybody, because people want to see videos, people want new music more often, and they want merch, and they want to see us play. Seeing us play, this has been the hardest thing for us. The first three things, we're starting to figure out how it works with our fans, and we're really grateful for everybody you know, contributing to the 2 campaigns that we've done, and we have a lot more in store. So I think you guys are going to be really stoked. The playing part of it is something that actually Ryan is working really hard on. For us to tour or even do regional tours or come back to Europe and all that kind of stuff, it's very difficult and very costly. We could, you know, we could do a crowdfunding campaign type of thing, something we've talked about. You know, maybe it's one night in Europe, you know, a crowdfunding campaign to just get us to Europe to play one show in a central location, and everybody gets a ticket who donates to this thing and makes it happen. You know, that could be a possibility, something like that. It could be the same to get to Russia. It could be anywhere that, you know, we could do this that it makes sense. You know, maybe that's what it's going to take to make that happen. In the meantime, we're still looking at doing shows. We have to tour the U.S. The U.S. has been very neglected, and we have a lot of fans here. I mean, we play the West Coast, and just last year played in New York for the first time in a while. But this is our next thing that we need to figure out, is how to make touring and playing shows
a regular
occurrence. Something where we can also, you know, we're not getting rich off any of this stuff, but as long as we can supplement our income and make money and do something worthwhile too, because, you know, we don't really love just playing shows without lights and other things like that as well. You know, we want to do more of a show, but it's just not cost effective for us yet. So we want to make that happen as well. The more people who get involved with us and support us, we'll make all of that stuff happen. We're not just going to line our pockets with gold. I wish that was the case. You know, we've had those days, as you can see behind me.
Yeah.
That was a good time, but things are different now.
Yeah.
And now it's more about being directly connected with everyone. And so far it's been working really well, and we're really grateful for everyone's help. So let's keep that plan going, but let's grow it.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's changed in the music industry. That's true. And we have the internet, and you can have everything on the internet. That's true. Matt from Slovakia asked, which 5 bands are currently your most favorite? Respectively, which 5 bands you like the most in past few months, or which 5 really caught your attention?
Oh man, that's a very complicated question.
Let's look up on.
I'm gonna have to look up.
Let's look it up. Let me see. What have I been listening to?
Beyonce.
What?
Not for me.
Just kidding.
Let's see what I can find here. Is he specifically asking about new bands or just in general?
Let's see. Which 5 bands you like the most in past few months, or which 5 really caught your attention?
Okay.
So I guess he means, yeah, new bands maybe.
Well, I just heard about this band called the Black Queen. It's a new band. It's pretty cool. It's comprised of a couple of guys from another band. It's like a side project of like some super heavy metal dudes. But it's cool. It's more electronic. Who else am I? There's something else. What else?
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the stuff that I've been listening to. The Shoes, or they're not even the Shoes. It's just Shoes. They're a French band. They're like an electro band. They're awesome. I listened to the Editors lately. IMX, the New Division. This is all stuff that I've been listening to. Banks, believe it or not. Nick Cave. Health, kind of an electro heavy weird duo. Depeche Mode is in here. Interpol, The Kills, Hot Chip. That's what's in my. It looks like that's what I listened to in the last couple days.
Yeah, mostly what I've been listening to is all 80s stuff lately.
It's the best.
Yeah, all 80s. I can show you just the other day. Here's some records that I bought. You know who that is? Gene Loves Jezebel. Some more Gene Loves Jezebel. And, Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Oh,
These are actual albums too, not CDs. Eurythmics.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can see right here. I got some of my ideas from this over here. Oh yeah.
Great cover.
Yeah. Some old Wall of Voodoo. And this is actually a quite rare record. Has the guy from New Order on it. Very kind of 80s stuff. So I mean, those are just a few records I bought the other day. Gives you an idea.
that's great. So, Matt, is your question answered?
You can say Mannequin Eyes influence.
Oh yeah. I actually bought
this.
this after. I bought that yesterday. It's funny.
Okay, 2 questions. You have still to answer. When can we expect the compilation album, B-sides, demos, lives, and beta test soundtrack?
Oh, okay. Well, we already kind of discussed the B-sides album. I'm actually pushing to have that done this year. That's going to be on Foo, because Foo has a lot of work to do on that. So I hope he can get to work on that quickly, and hopefully that will be a campaign that we can do later this year. The beta test album won't be out. The soundtrack to the movie won't be out until the movie comes out. So when the movie gets released, we'll put that out. That will probably only see an online release for that, just like Match Chance. That'll probably just be digital.
Great. And the last question is a really cute one from a Russian fan. Why you are so awesome?
We're actually not. We have to work really hard at being awesome. It's not easy. Thank you for your compliment.
You're awesome.
So, and we're finished. Maybe some of the fans have more questions. They can write it down below on the video when it's online.
Okay.
It will be online at youtube.com/rockdestiny.
Okay.
And maybe we can do another Q&A video, like the blogger said.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, you got to do your homework first and show us how to do this.
Yeah. That's right. But thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And I hope that our fans enjoyed this too.
And hope to see you soon. Maybe you come to Switzerland, I hope.
I'd like to.
Help us.
Yeah.
I help you. I will have an eye on.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're
Bye, everyone.
welcome. So, bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.